Charted, never pretend. Pull the trigger, my heart beats fast. Every second, the future's the past. One shot, don't ask me why. It's scalp or die. It's scalp or die. Oh, scalp or die. I'm living on the edge. Every tick. Charted, never pretend. Pull the trigger, my heart beats fast. Every second, the future's the past. One shot, don't ask me why. It's scalp or die. It's scalp or die. Oh, scalp or die. I'm living on the edge. Every tick.
Good morning. Oh man, what happened to my voice? That was that was a little wild. Okay, let's see if you can hear me. Good morning, everybody. All right, man. Today is going to be a really, really good day in terms of teaching you range trading and using range as the ultimate filter for all of our trades. I know we've been scalping like crazy, but I overnight I kind of just went through all these interesting chart formations to really show you where the trades are for the kind of trading that we do, which is momentum-based scalp trading. And most of the stuff is pretty much well known, but I think it's just shocking to show it to you on the chart to kind of make you understand exactly where the opportunities are. More importantly, to understand where the opportunities aren't. So here's what I'm going to do. Good morning, everybody. We're looking at gold on the right, NASDAQ on the left. NASDAQ has absolutely no signals whatsoever, and that's essentially kind of my point. So what I want to do is we're going to go to full chart. I'm going to go to full chart, and I'm going to show you a couple of interesting things, and then you guys feel free to ask me any questions. Yes, the song's already played. I'm sorry, the song's already played. Okay, let's go to, I want to go to NASDAQ, because I kind of want to show you the really interesting thing about this. So this is the last 10 bars of range. You can see over here, it's 28 points. And my setting for NASDAQ is 160 ticks or 40 points. So basically I'm saying to myself, range has to be greater than 40 points for me to get interested, right? Now here's what I want to show you what happens. First of all, you see very, very little movement, as is the story here, because the markets are very, very quiet. You see a smattering of movement here, right over here, which is kind of interesting because it does definitely have some continuity, right? And you see nothing. You see nothing else there, right? But here's what I wanted to show you, because I mean, this is very obvious, but it really, really shows it so cleanly visually that you need to really appreciate it. So this is where all, what is that? I want to be in the room where it happens from Hamilton. This is where all the action happens. The 9/32/11 action, right? What does this chart show us? This chart shows us that all the breakout candles, all the continuity candles, and this, by the way, shows you both continuity and discontinuity, trend and counter trend. Let me just take it to trend, and then we'll go to both. Just I'll explain to you why I was doing both, because it's really interesting. But let's wait. Sorry, what did I just do? That's not what I wanted to do. No, dots is both. I always make this mistake. Trend only. Okay. So just looking at a nice clean chart, you guys seeing all of this, right? On NAS, where's all the action? The action is effectively 9 to 10:30. That's where all the flow happens, right? We have a little bit of a smattering at around 11:30 near the European close, and then we're kind of done. Then there is a little bit of the other way trend activity, the other way, right? And that, I think, I mean, the cool thing about this kind of a chart is it just sort of shows you where the highest activity is, what you should be watching as highest activity. Does that make sense to everybody? Do you guys see what I'm saying? Like, this is where the action happens. Otherwise, I mean, and this is why, when we try to force trades in Europe and we try to force trades in Asia, we're just getting churned out. We're just getting completely churned out, right? Conversely, by the way, just for shits and giggles, sort of a counter argument. I want to be in a chop environment where I'm actually going to trade the exact opposite of my logic. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to say I want the range to be less than half this, right? So let's say I want it to be 80. I want range to be less than. I'm going to define range as less than. And let's see what happens here, right? So the key thing I kind of wanted to show you that what happens here is this is mostly fadeable, fadeable stuff, right? Let me just kind of show you. You got to understand how tight these markets are. Just, you know, for shits and giggles, suppose I'm trading 10 target, 20 stop, and I'm going to be fading. I'm just going to fade, you know, fade these moves. So, you know, I'm selling 28, 48 is my stop, 18 is my target, somewhere over here. You see, it's just basically you're selling range. But you know, if you wanted to be a little bit more intelligent, you'd obviously try to sell on the upper end of the range, you know, like somewhere around here. You know, you already know that this is the Asia session highs, right? Asia session highs. So like anywhere it gets close to there, you sell the greens. And then you have these are Asia session lows. Well, those went down. So sorry, let's do this on a realistic fashion. Let's go to replay. Okay, so here we are. These are Asia session lows, Asia session highs. I'm gonna try. Anytime I get a green, I'm just gonna sell because this is low range. And anytime I get a red, I'm gonna try and buy. But what do I have here? Okay, here's a green. I sell this 56, 26. So it's 56 stop, 26 target. Let's see what that happens. Boom, 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 boom. Oh, but there we go. We get done. Now we're at the low end of the range, right? And all right, fine. I say I buy this 16. I'm looking for 26, and it gets done over here, right? So you sort of, for those people who are asking me, how do I trade Asia? You literally flip the world upside down, or you flip the concept upside down, right? Right. So I'm talking about NASDAQ, and I'm talking about very tight ranging. Last night I was trading gold, which is a completely different instrument, and something that we're going to talk about as well. But the bottom line is 90% of the time, Asia and Europe is bullshit for NASDAQ, and you need to trade bullshit rules. That's my proprietary new trademark. Dots bullshit rules, where we literally flip the script upside down, and every sell becomes edge sell becomes a buy, every edge buy becomes a sell, because we're just trading the right environment. So remember, all of this is obviously constructed against a minimum range. So as long as I have a minimum range and I get these moves, I can flip it around. Okay, but back to, let me get rid of this, leave, back to reality. Let me show you. I want to go to NQJH scalp. And again, really not much going on over here, right? Now, let's talk about gold. So we're going to talk about gold. So here's gold. Gold, as you can see, is a super act. This is gold set up into trend conditions. It actually has both trend and counter trend. Let me just do trend only, so you guys again don't get too confused, because we'll talk about what counter trend could be useful for. But let's just do trend only, right? Trend only against an 8-point range. So this is 9 points. It's already green, right? And so, yes, it doesn't quite always have a lot of continuity. There's a couple of stalls here, but it definitely shows continuity here, shows continuity here, shows continuity here. And today is sort of a very, very weird day, because gold has just been really range bound all over the place. But the point is, this is from 7 to 10 in the morning. You have some very decent continuity. And if we go backwards, so Europe has a little bit of continuity, and then if we go backwards, what's interesting is the exact same story upside down from 7 New York night until basically 10 New York night, right? We have some really nice continuity. These are all clean signals. Now, this one obviously stubs you, but this is clean, this is clean, this is clean. These are all pretty much all clean signals to the downside. To, as far as giving you some continuity moves. And what I mean by that is that they're moving like you could you're looking, just if you wanted to just bank 1 against 2, you could easily do it. You could even do, I think, 2 against 4 in some of these cases for continuity. But let's just say we're going to stay tight. $1, $1, $1, constant swings. You basically have like winner. This one was just crazy price action. You ate it. This is winner. 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 This is the final one. That is actually. Oh, let me see. Does this one? I think it may have actually worked, because if you closed at 43.3 and the low was 42.3, just barely made this one. So you basically have like 6 or 7 in a row, which is what you're looking. Let's say you have 6 or 7 in a row with a 1, 2. Even if you lose 2 of those, you're still net positive. If you lose 1, you're really, really positive. But the point is that you're trading this very, very strong continuity trend, right? That's kind of occurring. Then there's like a little bit of a stub here because it was a crazy, crazy night of trade here. So gold has like, I think, 2 sessions that are really interesting, which is the New York night or Tokyo morning from 7 to 10, and the New York morning from basically 7 over here to 10, where you have some some potential moves here that are kind of interesting, right? Matter of fact, I have a gold trade possibly setting up, right? Why is this? I wonder why is it not showing me? Oh, because the slope is green. It's kind of I was like, why is it not working? The slope here is green on the chart, so it's not quite reaching to the downside. And gold is really, really been a choppy trade because it's really volatile at this point. So you kind of want to be as selective as possible. Actually, we should be looking. Here we go. Here's an A1 trade, session lows. Let me go in here because I actually have this one on my charts. You guys get to see it. 47 seconds left. I'm going to trade this just with a 1, 2. So very, very simple. If I get the signal, again, I need the hot pink signal to show up. And it's really, you see, it's playing around because essentially you're not really getting a lot of downside action. The slope continues to be green, meaning the rate of change is just very, very is neutral, not negative. And I want the rate of change to be negative. So I may not get a signal. May have to be patient a little bit more here. What's interesting is that once NASDAQ opens up, you're going to see, hopefully, that range expansion on NASDAQ, and we're going to start to see some NASDAQ trades as well. All right, this thing is just not doing anything. So let's go back to this one, and I want to show you something else. So the other interesting thing to notice is that when you have these range, you have these big range conditions, you look, let's say you want to look for counter trend only. I want to just look for counter trend only signals. And this is where it gets also super, super interesting. This is wait, hold on. Is this is this doesn't seem right. Why is this? Sorry, let me just make sure I have this right. Range must be greater than, counter trend range greater than. Wow, is it really? Was it really that? Was the range that big? I guess it was that big. Oh yeah, because this is counter trend. Okay. Yes. Okay. Yeah, it is. Okay. So here's an interesting thought. Let me just go over here to see if we have anything going on here. No. Um, counter trend becomes trend once you have two or more green labels over here, or neon labels over here, right? So you have this big range expansion. So yes, the 8 is below the 200, but what you're seeing here, usually it always starts from a very, very oversold condition. This creates a super interesting trend structure. Once you get 1, 2 conditions here, you long here, this is positive. You make a trade long here, you make a trade long here. You see, this is literally a super strong trend. It just happens to be underneath the 200 period SMA. It's kind of like a skyscraper in the ocean. You don't see it, but it doesn't mean it doesn't exist, right? Or a mountain the mountain in the ocean, right? Mountain in the ocean is taller than the mountain on the ground, but you just don't see it. So the trend is actually super, super strong. And what's driving this is the reason why you're starting to print these labels, is because range is starting to really expand. That's what's so interesting about this. I was actually surprised. I didn't realize it was we had such a strong counter trend move here. But if you took this, it was 4, 5, 6 consecutive winning trades. And that's what makes this so kind of, very, very interesting as a structure. So like right now, we're kind of in nowhere land. We're sort of downtrend now. Downtrend. This is a counter trend signal over here that's coming up, but it's only like the first. And what you really want to do, if you want to take those trend-like structures, you really need to have 2 of these neon greens to confirm to you that makes a trend, and then you can hop on essentially as a counter trend trader, or a trend trader within a larger counter trend, not to confuse you. That's why I had them both on the charts to kind of watch these conditions. You can see the same idea here. You have 2 of the neon reds. This one gave you a really great signal to the downside, right? Now it's basically 2 counter trends create a trend. Is sort of the structure story that I went to. All of this obviously underpinned by the range condition. Does that make sense to everybody? Everybody understand what I'm saying? Give me some yeses. Give me some questions. Manson Motion says very, very key. Momentum. Okay. All right. Let's go look. What time is it? It's 10 more minutes. 10 minutes before the open. So nothing much going on over here. But here's a trend. Here's a trend sale. Okay. Sell. Right. Boom, boom. Did you see how fast that was? That was too fast for your eyes. I'm sorry, I didn't give you much of a setup, but here's the point. Range was there, neon red. We're clearly, we're downtrend. I just took that trade. That was a less than a second for a $100 trade. Here comes a second one, if it holds. I'm trading the 222 eval. I'm basically up $500 in the last, 35 minutes since I kind of before I came on air with you guys, because I just got a chance to. I spent really last night, got up at 4 o'clock this morning, just looking at all of this stuff to try to communicate to you exactly what this is all showing us. First of all, just looking at it and just trying to see what it was showing us, and then trying to understand it. And really, this is where the charts begin to really speak to you in terms of showing you quick setups. No, the range values are absolutely not the same for NQ and GC. No. It's completely different instruments. Completely, the tick values and everything else. For GC, the range is 160. I'm sorry. For NASDAQ, the range is 160 ticks, and for gold, it's 80 ticks. That's sort of my, my values. And to kind of like, where I derive those things, it's if you take the notional of gold, which is 4, double that, that's 8, that's 80 ticks, right? You take the notional of NASDAQ is 25. You double that, it's 50, but I kind of made it 40 just to give, because NASDAQ is actually not as volatile as gold. So that's where those come in. I did not sleep last night, but I'm wired out of my mind because this was so interesting and so cool to notice. All right, what the hell is this? Is this now? This is a counter trend. Okay, so the only problem is when I have counter trend, and I'm not going to change this because Rob is really going to just absolutely go apoplectic. But I may do this on TradingView. Wait, trend only? Yeah, this is trend. What? Oh, this is trend only? I'm in trend zone? Okay, let's see. Gold, this is telling me, oh, no. Sorry. Let's not rush it. Yes, this is a trend signal, but it's not a neon green. It's just a plain green. Okay, that makes perfect sense. We just crossed over. This is a very, very annoying price action today. You see, we just crossed over. This is the first breakout bar. So it's plain green bar. The next one, if it goes to neon green like this, that could be a play for us. That could be a play for us. Now, the other thing you'll notice is that I've really cut my risk, and that means I'm going to be losing a lot more, very happily, because my break-evens are going to be much better because I went from a 1.3 to a 1.2. So, with this range filter, I should have, I'm hoping I have a 7.1. Even if I have a 7.2 run, I'm essentially almost always net positive on a day, right? Whereas with 1.3, I really needed much higher, much bigger breaks. So I just basically said it's either gonna go on a 1.2, or I'm gonna get stopped, and I'm fine with it. All right, let's see what this is gonna do. 3, 4, 2, 1. This is gonna hold. I'm waiting for the candle to close. All right, I'm long this candle. Don't love this candle. May not work, but it's fine. As I said, I'm going to get stopped out a lot more, but my break evens are going to be much better. I actually want to lower. Fuck! I knew this wasn't going to work. I need to lower this a little bit because my execution was a little bit off. Let's see if this comes up. What time is it? We got 4 minutes to the open. We're going to switch our attention to NAS, which hopefully is going to start printing nice big ranges and start giving us. NASDAQ is a much easier trade to do, by the way, than this, because it tends to have better continuity. Gold is such a herky-jerky trade. Not just in a sense that it doesn't have continuity, but it has these retraces that clip you out. Like right now, I'm going to get clipped out, and it's probably going to go back up, but it's fine. I'm going to live with the consequences of my trading plan, because I'd rather get small clips and make forward progress than just take large hits. Okay, so this one obviously did not work. That's fine. NASDAQ is still very, very small, 21-point range. Let's see if it's going to expand. Do I think NQ is easier overall versus gold? I do. I think gold is a bear, but gold is a lot of fun to trade, and gold is active almost all the time, whereas NQ is really just active 9 to 11 in terms of the kind of trading that we do. So I do think there's some interesting possibilities there, but who knows? Huh. Okay. All right, I'm just waiting for NAS to open up, see if our ranges start getting into the tradability zone. Of course, the other thing that's challenging right now, but gold is basically flatlining around the 200 SMA. So almost no signals are really legit in this. You really want it to start pulling away to the upper edges of the session highs, session lows. Otherwise, it's just, we're twiddling our thumbs. There's not much price action going on here in gold. That's correct. English says that the gold will either take your money in a blink of an eye, just like you saw it. It gave me money in a blink of an eye, takes away the money in a blink of an eye. So you have to vary. That's why you want to keep the stops in a controlled zone. All right, we're opening up. No, we got about 50 seconds to opening up. Watch. Where's my cursor? Okay, here's my cursor. All right, let's get a little bit larger on NAS so you guys can see it. Gold really made a nice long down trip to the 4,400. It seems to be that 4,500 was a pretty big resist, and I kind of wonder if gold is gonna want to run the 4,400s. I mean, it seems like a natural move. The buyers couldn't make it happen. Sellers just been pushing it down all day long. Although gold is notorious for. All right, here's New York session starting to expand the session. Hardly a banger move. Tomorrow we're trading non-farm payrolls. Everybody, don't forget 8:15. That's going to be the trade. I don't know if we're gonna straddle or if we're gonna just simply do one. I may just kind of do one unidirectional move in payrolls tomorrow. Here we go. Here's the pump and dump in Nasdaq, where they take out the highs at 28, start to bring us down. All right, now at least Nasdaq opens itself up into a rational, reasonable zone. This is a tough candle to take, but I kind of want to take it. Wait, hold on. I gotta make. I have the wrong thing. Sorry, guys. Never mind. I want to do 40 by 80. Oh yeah, this would have totally worked. I'm sorry, I didn't take this trade. I didn't set up my stops and targets in Nasdaq. It should be a 40-80 stop and target. All right, it's fine. There'll be more opportunities in Nasdaq. But this was, this would have been a good. This is short 57 to 47. It obviously happened. All right, I'm properly set up here. Let's see if this is going to give me another short. Let's go Nasdaq NQ scalp. And here I'll keep an eye on gold in this one. What? What? Oh man, what? Oh, Jesus! My what happened to my thing? God damn it! Sorry, guys. Something. It's all my quotes just went off here. I have to reset my quotes. All right, fuck it. I'm not gonna worry about it. Let's just stay on this chart for right now. I can't fucking deal with this bullshit. God damn it. Fuck you, TradingView. All right, let's switch around here to GC scalp. Now let's buy this. Nope. Nope. Too big a move. Ah, too big a move. Too bad. Sorry, it was a big move. Just a really big candle, and that's going to happen. Gold is just going to retrace against you like this, and just eat you. Let me go to Nasdaq. I want to see if Nasdaq is going to give me another signal here. Nope. Okay, this is definitely giving me a signal. Fifteen seconds left. I'm watching this this trade here. 3, 4, 2, 1. Boom. Yeah, I'm getting retraced to Nasdaq. All right, all my trades are gone off, and I'm just sorry, guys. I'm really distracted by this very annoying thing that I don't know why. Why is this happening to me? Okay, finally. Nasdaq just retraced me out. Just a tough thing. Just literally 20 points. Just clipped me before it probably goes down again. Here's gold again. Let's go do gold again. Assuming it holds. I'm going to go to gold. And Nasdaq will go over here. Oh, gold does not give me a signal. 18 seconds left. You see how gold retrace came back up to the highs. I just simply did not want to give myself the room for the stop out, so I got clipped. It's just the nature of the beast. See if they want to break the 700 in Nasdaq. There we go. Whoa, they're breaking it hard. All right, we're going to try and give this a shot. Oh, sorry, I'm on this one. And I'm getting retraced again. I'm just getting retraced out. I'm gonna get I'm just getting killed because these big candle. I have the right ideas and just not doing it. All right, that's what it is. And now it's going to come back and totally hit target. Yep. Now I finally recovered some of it. I'm sorry. It's so freaking annoying. Wow. That really sucks. Okay. All right. We'll change accounts. That was just, 2 times in a row, NASDAQ reached against me. And I guess the lesson here is that just having 20 was just not enough. You just needed to have more. But I'm really trying to stay to a 1-to-2 risk reward ratio. So really annoying. The market is absolutely directional. It's just we're getting swept on retraces, which is just a big shame. Maybe the takeaway here is that because we have the ranges that are really large, like a 100-point range, I guess on a 50-point range, you could try and do a 20-point stop. On a 100-point range, you really want to do a 40-20 stop. You sort of want to adjust your stops and targets to the volatility of the range. Because had I been at like 20, a 20-40 from the start, it would have been much easier. Like, let's try this right now. I'm going to do this on the small one. Okay. Doing this at the end of this move is probably the stupidest thing in the world, but we'll give it a shot. I'm going to try and do a 20-40 move here. Oops, Jesus Christ, this thing just dove. What happened to my thing? Where am I? Wow, it was a super slow, super fast move. Okay, why is this not showing me on the? I don't even know where I'm at. Six, 5, 3, 2. 625. 6, 5, 3, 2. Oh, there I am at. Oh, wow. Why isn't that showing on my things here? Oh, I think I'm in the wrong count. Okay, 23. Okay. Right. See, now it's showing the ticks. Now it's showing the thing. I'm just going to take the profits here. I'm going to take. All right. So that actually worked nicely. Sorry, guys. I was in the wrong count. Um, so this is the big takeaway from my morning exercise of all of this. Everything worked great except my stops and targets. My volatility wrapper was wrong, and that's an adjustment that I'm just making um, on these evals, which is good because I'm not trading my fund today. I'm trading the evals. Basically, the idea is because the range is so much larger, right? 125 points, so on and so forth. You're going to just be facing massive retrace moves. Furthermore, also, by the way, this is like the fifth red label, of which we're only able to actually capture like two. We should have been able to capture all five because we had the wrong stops and targets. First 30 minutes vol is too high for our stops, so it seems best to wait. Well, my argument is that I am uh, I am I'd rather do smaller size, and the key thing is to do wider stops, wider targets, to give yourself the room to survive these moves. All right, so now we're at 604 here. We're really coming down. Gold is doing nothing, right? Excuse me. Gold has wide volatility, but no signals for us because it's sort of like staying within this range. But we were short here. We made that move. We were short here, got retraced. Short here, got retraced. Both of these moves would have been perfectly good. I finally took this one. Let me show this to you. What the hell was this? This was the final. This was a trade that actually worked. The 32 to 20, right? Should have been a trade actually, like all the way down. But still, the point is that I finally adjusted myself to the volatility that was there. The signals are all excellent. There's nothing wrong with the signals. We just simply did not have the right structures in place. And that's like more research to be done. Like how do we adjust on the fly to this whole idea? Like where do you go from 1020 to a 2040 type of a trade? I don't have the answer just yet, but I'll definitely be looking into it. Oh, gold is popping on. Like gold probably is another one of those things where, all right, I'm long gold. There we go. Come on. There we go. So gold got done. So this is another one of those kind of things that I need to be thinking about, because remember, gold also retraced out on us to come back out on the signals. So should I be doing a 2-4? If I was doing a 2-4 41, nah, I would have really. This gold is really tough. 41 against 37. No, you may have survived it actually. You literally did survive it. And I should have probably done this as a 4-2. That's a good. That's probably it's another good thing. So I spent all my time kind of looking at the breakouts, but not really thinking about the volatility wrappers. But when you're inside the vortex, when you're inside the hurricane, you need to make adjustments. So yes, range is 80. I guess you could go 1-1-2, but once the range gets above 10 or 11, you probably need to go for 2-4, because if you went 2-4 on this, it's super easy to have clipped it, right? This was a 43 to 45, nice clean trade. Oh, we got another sell on NAS. It's a higher low, so we're not going to take it, but let's keep an eye on NAS. So if I was to replay this, 11-point range. I still here. I should have been 2-4, right? I should have really been 2-4. So I'm long 37. I should be going to 39. Nope, that stops me out here. But this one works, and this one we just did worked. What was the range here? Oh, you know what? I want to do this. Sorry, let me just take this out, and I want to do trend only. I just want to see the clean signals, so I'm not. You see, just gold is so tough. It basically you sort of selling the bottoms, buying the tops here until eventually it starts to show some continuity. It is a very, very tough trade on some days. Whereas NAS sort of nice and clean continuity, certainly on the open. I'm watching NASDAQ, see if they're going to try to run the lows here. Just that dollar seems too strong for the gold move forwards. Could be. It's just a lot of two-way trade here because um, mark in gold because markets had such a big rally that there's a lot of profit taking and then it's just late stragglers coming in every time that it's creating a lot of zigzag moves. That makes it very tough to trade. I'm just looking at this and I was like thinking if it was trading 2-4s here, just how frustrating it was that this made it, this doesn't, this clips, this clips. Yeah, like 3 or 4 just complete discontinuous trades here. All right, gold picking up steam again. Let's give it a shot. Need to board a few more Russian ships for gold to go up. No, them boarding Russian ships is actually positive. It shows that Russia is a paper tiger. That's bad for gold, in my opinion. I'm watching gold here. 24 seconds left on that. The other thing I was going to share with you guys, which I kind of find super interesting, and this one is actually a really good sort of a 10-20 trade, is fading the first counter trend signal. So this is a buy. If you sold 59, there's a pretty easy move here back down to 39. I just sort of I was watching gold. I didn't get a chance, like, because this is essentially a trend trade, right? Trade is negative. You have just basically a retrace move, unless you have a V-shaped move, which happens, but rarely. Most of the time, you get a really good chance to come in at the highs with very low risk here on the trade. Am I near the airport? No, that's just New York City, my friend. Remember, though, what I told you, if I get two neon greens, that becomes a trend. Like, that becomes the V shape. It turns into a V when we basically get these two neon greens. But now, we got nothing but this. This also kind of reminds me where the interesting. This is a super interesting way of trading. Also, let me just go both. Show you. I'm like, I was like, here's the you trading counter. This is positive trend, right? Buying this A1, buying it because it's a sell in an uptrend. It's effectively an exhaust point here. Really, really low risk trade here, right? In some ways, I kind of feel like, let me just show you just counter trend only. Gold is so screwy that just doing the counter trend only signals. So in this case, you're selling this, you are doing much, much better by doing that. There's only one stop out. This is a winner, this is a winner, stop out winner, right? If you're trading counter trend, buyer, a winner, buyer, winner. Like, gold in many ways is kind of like a counterintuitive, much better counterintuitive trade than an intuitive trade here. Here it comes on the other side. Should we play it? Let's do it on the small side. Oh, it doesn't matter. It disappeared. I took the small trade, and it actually did get done. In the meantime, Nasdaq. I'm not watching Nasdaq sell. All right, Finally started to watch Nasdaq. I'm a little bit late on Nasdaq, trying to fool around with this. So this is Nasdaq trend to the downside with bigger, wider stops. I'm trying to go 20, 40, maybe a little bit, maybe a little bit too much on my target, because this is trying to end. But you know what? I'll take this. It's really nice. It's actually really nice profits here, like really good bankable profits on small size. So that actually worked really, really well. So, I adjusted, I corrected, I expanded my volatility, and you don't necessarily have to go for the full 20, but at least you want to give yourself that room to, because you're essentially giving yourself room for that retrace envelope that you're trying to trade against. Why gold is so weird? It's less liquid, and it's also much more manipulated, so it makes it much easier to trade up. Now, if I go into trend mode, I just need to, I gotta save this under different conditions, and just so let me save this under trend. Save GC trend. Excuse me. Oh, God. And then the other one, counter trend. That way I can just switch around really quickly. GC counter. So if I want to switch from trend to counter trend, I just go trend to counter trend. Okay, cool. Now it's probably going to give me counter trend, right? NASDAQ is once again giving me a sell signal here, but it's at session low. This is the double bottom counter signal. I don't want to take it. I'd rather give up this trade unless it breaks the lows. Yeah, it did break the session lows. I should have pulled the trigger here. Sorry, that broke the session lows, and that was a really easy kind of a trade. Should have pressed it a little bit more. Oh, so this is a counter trend signal in gold. All right, let's see how much fun this could be. 35 seconds left. So this is essentially a buy if this holds around these levels. $18 seconds left. 14, 13 seconds left. I'm in gold. 37.7. I got a bad fill. All right, let's see if this pops. 38.7 is my exit, and I'm there. Come on, come on, come on! I should have been done. I'm going to take myself out. This was not well done. Meantime, look at Nasdaq. I'm missing these trades because I pussied out. This is just straight down clean trending. By the way, gold totally popped up, right? It almost seems like we want to trade gold the opposite and Nasdaq in direction for now as the right trades. Oh, very nice. Look at DRD. DRD, good for you, man. I bet you're trading Nasdaq, right? Because Nas has just been a smooth operator to the downside, and you just probably riding that wave, right? Is that what you're doing, DRD? Good for you, man. Oh, holy shit! Look at these sells in Nasdaq. So it's just so many things to talk about. I'm just kind of like processing so many different things that I want to talk to you about. First of all, the point about look at this time frame, look at the range expansion, look at the fact that how the signals are. This is the money time, right? I mean, I made a little bit of money. I could have made a lot more money, but um, that's not the point. The point is to understand the knowledge so you could do this tomorrow and the day after. So this is really the money time, both as far as range expansion. You see how Nasdaq did nothing for 3 hours, and all the money was made here. You could have made about 100 Nasdaq points very easily, with literally no heat at all. If you took a lot of these trades, it's just kind of really interesting to understand that. Oops. What do you guys think about that? So now on NAS, what I'm really interested in is, okay, so NAS is really sold off super hard. I want to see the counter trend green label, and I want to try to sell that. And we're going to see if that's going to work for us. Essentially a trend trade on a retrace. So if I get a green green A1, I want to sell that one. In the meantime, obviously buying the gold was not just a good idea, but a great idea. Look at this. It's a 5-point pop. gold is like I was gonna make a stupid physics joke, but like gold is basically continuity trade in a discontinuity mode, right? It's in a sense that it's a great it's an uptrend, and it's basically the best trades in gold are buy the dip trades on an uptrend, or sell the rip trades in a downtrend, right? Until and this is the key thing, until we get a couple of consecutive neon labels, then you're in V-shaped territory. All right, let's watch Nazi. Snazzy Nazi, give me a green label so I can short you. Let's see. Gold popping up as a this is obviously a trend signal. If I go into trend, you'll see that it's a trend signal. Big pop, fresh session highs. Got to go for that. Oh, you know what? I'm watching Snaz. Let's play Snazzy Nazi. I like this. Let's trade this. It's 897. Oh shit! I sold it. Come on, sell. Fuck. Get over here. All right. Let's see if I'm right on this. Let's see if this is either, if this is a V shape, or whether I get a little bit of a move back down. All right, take that back as an example. By the way, look at how shitty the fucking gold is. The just zero continuity on gold, right? Really frustrating. But you know what? We're gonna make lemonade out of lemons. If gold isn't gonna give us continuity trades, we're gonna trade discontinuity on a continuity basis. We'll just trade. Um, counter trades the other way. Oh man, that sucks. Where's the power been cut? Where are you trading from that the power is cut? What happened to you? All right, I'm gonna short this one more time. If I get the neon green label, um, again, I'm basically betting against the V shape. If it turns V shape, fine, it's no big deal. I'll eat the small trade. I'm trading small size, but the idea here is um, V shapes are rare. If it goes double neon, then we should be thinking about this as a potential trend move, and not a counter trend sub, which is fine. Yeah, it looks like it is. Looks like it's going to be a potential trend move. But let's be a little patient here with it. Nas doing the typical 10 o'clock recovery. It is doing, Nas does the V shape pretty much at around the 10 o'clock level. So um, probably wasn't. This was the smart move. The first trade, the second trade probably wasn't that smart. So we'll leave it be. Oh, look at London. London. Who cut your power in London, my friend? Um, Good job on getting funded, Wally. Good job. Nice job. Gold finally hitting highs, starting to expand. Wow, gold is just having. Look at that tear. Look at that tear. Well, after a lot of false starts, gold finally started to really pump, right? Um, all right, let's see if we can do a little bit of counter trend work on gold here. I'm going to try and buy like a purple A1 or red A1 here if gold comes down. Coaching 7 o'clock. I'll be sending an email a little bit later today. Oh, anybody interested in coaching? Here's the link. Gold not letting me. They should. This was the buy. I kind of snoozed and loose, but it didn't give me an A1, so I can't really couldn't have made a legitimate claim it was a buy. Yeah, honestly, guys, this NAS fade trade, I'm just holding it really for shits and giggles. There was a couple of times where it came close to break even, and I was going to thinking of covering it, but I got a little too greedy. If this pops me back out, like if this stops me out, that's very likely going to be like a V-shaped move, and then we'll just join it the other way. If it comes back down, let it be. I'm just going to stay patient with it. On the gold side, a little bit clearly a very frustrating morning because all the runs we let them go because they just kind of got capped out. And I'm now trying to see if I could buy the dips at this point, but they're not coming in for the dip, so just not yet. So be it. Oops, there goes the green label. So this gives us a chance to see if this is true, if we can buy the breakout. So like, is this now like a legit V-shaped trend? So if this thing holds, we're going to go long the gold, go long the Nasdaq trade, essentially on a trend basis. And if it doesn't, that means it was just a spike out, and we just got spiked out. Yeah, gold just keeps on climbing. The V stalls right in front of here, right in front of here. Watching gold here after a big run. See if I get a kind of a red label pop here. We'll see. Oh, and look at that! Looky. Nas got filled, and we're in good shape. So again, sort of my thesis: when you get two neons on a counter trend, it's actually a trend. It did a lot of consolidation here, but eventually it did pop, right? So that definitely shows that to be true. Now here comes my gold dip thesis. Let's see if that's going to work. 36 seconds left. We're going to see if we can try to buy this dip. 24 seconds. Let's actually go into the gold. I'm in at 56, looking for 57, and that absolutely totally worked. Again, yes, we missed all these things, but we did stick to our plan of like, hey, let's buy that dip, and that dip worked. So that was a really interesting session today, huh? I really fought my way back on all of this. And there's a lot of good lessons here in terms of like, you got to look at the market, you got to see what's actually working, and try to do the best you can. I mean, gold, despite the fact there was lots of continuity trades, there was a lot of bad continuity trades, and all the there may have been like 8 or 9 continuity trades, but look at the discontinuity trades. Buying the purple, buying the purple, buying the purple, winner, 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 winner. And if the game here is to be as accurate as possible, even though you give up some opportunities, I'd rather take that trade, any day. That was kind of a really, really interesting lesson today, right? Looking at all this stuff, that gold was the counterintuitive trade, and it made bank here, made bank here, and made bank here. Oops. So 3 banks. Guys, see what I'm saying? Super interesting, right? So that was gold. On the other hand, NAS was just money, money, money. The lesson for us in NAS was that we have to go wider on the stops, get the wider volatilities. There were actually really good counter trend trades, or discontinuity trades here with the green labels. This one was great. This one was great. We took both of those, and once we hit two neons in the opposite direction, that really tells you it was a counter trend move, and it was worth taking, right? Super interesting. You guys are good? I don't hear anybody talking to me. I hope everybody is. Give me some thumbs up that you understand what I'm saying. Or is everybody just watching the charts and having a good time? All right, fun. So here's a fun last play if this comes in. Charts. Everybody's saying charts. So I was going to say, do we have a second neon? If we have a second neon on gold, that becomes actually a trend within a trend within a counter trend, right? How to put it, like a downtrend within an uptrend. So this is kind of interesting. Let's watch this. Let's see if we can, what's happening in gold. Did gold just kind of top out, going to do a V shape the other way? The cool thing is, like, the tool just gives us so many interesting ways to read the market if we sort of stop and look at it and think about it. And that's what I love about it. That's what we're going to talk about in Coach. We'll talk about also how to make some, longer term, bigger trades. If you guys are interested in doing swing trades, we'll talk a little bit about that. But on just a micro structure level, it's so fascinating. By the way, look at NAS. Snazzy could give us another neon label, and if it does, that's going to be a buy. Oh no, the range kind of compressed, right? Okay, so the range compressed. We got no trades. Um, but range in gold is still pretty good, and if we start getting neon reds, that's going to be a sell. So again, everything comes back down to range, which is without range, you really don't have a trade. And then once you have that foundational trade, you actually have a lot of flexibility as to whether you trade trend or counter trend. Why do I buy the purple? I buy the purple because it's the first. If you think about this, what am I doing? It's a sell-off in an uptrend, right? It's a quick sell-off in an uptrend. It's the one opportunity to buy something cheap before it pops back up, right? But once it becomes neon red, it's actually starting to be a downtrend, right? As long as it's purple, it's still essentially a sell-off in an uptrend. That's kind of how you want to think about it. Now, the purple turns to neon red, you're screwed. But you're always going to be screwed in a cycle. You're never going to go through a perfect trade cycle. And that's the whole idea. The whole idea is to minimize those stop outs. But that's your highest probability of it being a continuity within discontinuity. Green otter, nice, good for you. Now we're going to just have fun with gold for the last piece of this. I just want to, let me see if I can put this gold counter. Yeah, gold counter. Basically, my thesis, once I have two neons, it becomes a trend the other way. $13, $12, $11. It's retracing on me. It's going to pop me out because I have too little. It needs to be a bigger volatility. Should be a 2-4. I'm not going to move the stop. I'm really, really tempted to move the stop, but it should be a 2-4. If I get stopped, I get stopped. It's okay. We gave it a shot. Yeah, but I bet you if I was a 2-4, this would have totally worked. Would have totally worked. So if we went 52 to a 54 to a 50, we'll see. Yep. I'm going to do this on the small side for you guys. So you don't see it because this is on the micro, not on the big one, but that's also not helping me right now, not working, but we'll give it a shot. Now, this just simply didn't work. Not quite the V shape just yet. All right. It was fun. I gave it a shot. Gold has been my kryptonite today. Completely both ways. The only thing that seems to work is to bought the dips, any kind of trend-based ideas. Although I'm still staying alive in this trade, and if this trade starts to come down, it might work for me. We'll see. Yeah, let me switch this around. You guys can see it. Oh yeah, that's a really great strategy. We're gonna do that, Otter. We're gonna do that tomorrow, probably. I think after, um, or Ayabasha. Yeah. Head and shoulders on the 1 minute. Could be, could be, could be. Um, anyways, gold's been a very very rough go for me today. We'll reconvene tomorrow, see what we can do with it. We probably may trade just sort of one shot, one kill trades tomorrow with gold. See if we can get funded on that move. But for now, Nasdaq's been great, and a lot of the a lot of the stuff that I showed you has been really really good. So I will leave you guys with that. Everybody have a wonderful wonderful day. I'll see everybody for NFPs tomorrow. Take care, guys.